team. Welcome back to the Mosaic. This is a place where we piece together business and life, one intentional piece at a time, to create something truly beautiful and a masterpiece, my friends. Okay, this morning, as I am recording this episode in the mornings, usually the mornings, and yes, I do record and batch record my episodes, which gives me time to record episodes to you one at a time, save time, but really keep topics in the pipeline so we can keep our communication going. So this morning I was hearing the birds chirping, singing. Spring is coming. I am in a beautiful, bubbly mood. And what I'm about to tell you is actually, it didn't really start out like that, right? I have had a very rough week. And this episode is going to be all about that. I do have a bit of a life update for you. And let me tell you, this one quite literally knocked me off my feet. And the episode is still going to have some similar theme. I have some affirmations written down that I want to leave you with, and hopefully some takeaways from my experience this week. So you all know how much I love my routines. I know it hasn't been too many episodes yet into this podcast, but I've started giving you hints to my daily routine. I love my hot yoga practice, my morning walks, and that just gets me out of the house and being outside and soaking in the fresh air. And my days usually start early. If you have read the 5 a.m. Club book, it's from Robin Sharma, one of the authors that I love. It's a great book, and I am a 5 a.m. Club member. Maybe I am more of a 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m. Club member, I have to say. Because my days usually start around that time, 4 a.m., 4:30. I do put in a little bit of work. And then by 5, I do need to get ready. And by 5:30, for sure, I have to be ready and out the door to go get my 5 a.m. yoga class, to get to that class. And followed the yoga session, I try to get in to the hot sauna in the gym, and that's where I plan my day. I know, crazy, right? Then I rush home, I get my son's breakfast ready, and later in the morning, after he gets out of the door, my husband and I, and sometimes by myself and our dog Keko, and so, usually with my husband, for a walk on this beautiful, quiet walking trail in our neighborhood. I love this place. It's like my little ritual. We take 4 loops in this trail. It's about, if by the time we take these 4 loops, it's about 4 miles of walk that we do almost every day. Just us, just me, my dog, and the nature. Okay. So, I have to tell you, right, in this nature trail, one part of it, we do let our dog, who's the most loving dog, amazing. All she does is love on people, and she has this bubbly, exciting nature, and she's a sheepadoodle. She's about 45 pounds. And in this trail, we do check to see if there are other people, if there are other dogs. If there aren't anybody, what we do is we unleash her. And we love that. She loves that. And she starts like jumping like a mini like a gazelle, like she's so happy, and she like explores things, and we love seeing, it makes us happy to see her happy, right? I mean, we are careful, and she listens for the most part. We do realize that she's just, she's an animal at the end of the day, but we do want to give her that time. So on this particular day, things were a little bit different. I woke up with my mind racing and a million thoughts swirling around in my head, mostly about work. There are a lot of changes happening right now at work, at my day job, and my brain just wouldn't shut off. So I didn't get much sleep. So I woke up early. I put in some work, and I thought maybe I could go back to sleep, but I just wasn't going to be able to. So I went earlier to my hot yoga session, right? So I actually put in my sauna. I was the first one turning on the sauna. So I was in the sauna before my yoga session, sweated out some of the stress, and then hoping to calm my mind. But, with all that, traveling time, going to the gym and coming back, by the time I got home, I was kind of feeling a little bit drained. So our son is out the door. I told Greg, my husband, and I said, why don't you just go ahead and get started without me? I may just need to skip the walk today. I feel like I just need to rest. So I was sitting in on the couch by myself now, right? And they went outside, and I got a text message. It was kind of inspiring. And I was like, I was starting to, my mind wouldn't shut off. And you know what? I'm like, if I'm going to just stew over things, maybe I just catch up with them and walk through it. Walk through what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking with my husband, and just be in the nature. I love, that's my sanctuary anyways. I just go and get out fresh air. So I left for the trail, right? So what I did is, I decided to take the opposite path, right? So since this is a loop, I'm like, okay, if I take the opposite path, I can meet them halfway and we can just finish the walk together. And that's just when it happened. So I met them in this trail, and we were about, I would say, 100 to 150 feet apart. And the moment our dog Keko spotted me, her whole body lit up with excitement, right? And right away, she bolted towards me, full speed with 45-pound sheepadoodle frame, moving like this hunting dog, locked onto its target, locked onto me. I never thought that she was not going to be able to stop, but I barely had time to even react. But she tried. Okay, so she did try to turn at the very last second, but she was going so fast that still her entire body literally slammed into my legs. So as she was turning, she was towards my right side. So really, I heard my right ankle right there. I heard my right ankle pop. And suddenly I was literally airborne, right? So my feet left the ground, and I was flipped. And in an instant, I was flat on my back, literally staring at the sky. and my knees hurting, my ankles hurting, and pain literally shot through me. Like, but honestly, like the worst part, I was in physical pain. But I was under this realization that hit me like a wave that I wouldn't be able to do yoga. I was not going to be able to go on my walks. I just wasn't going to be able to move the way I love to for a while. And honestly, I was just feeling this crushed and frustration all over me. I mean, and at that moment, I started bawling. Like I was crying my eyes out right there on the ground. I mean, it was loud. It was messy. It was like this, I don't care who hears me type crying. And it wasn't just in pain. I was literally grieving this temporary loss of the movement that like fuels me. Like it is, when I walk outside, it's like when my creative juices fly. I plan my day in my head. When I'm in the sauna, I sit there and I plan it. I go through my day in visually, and that's my productive time. And I in this moment on my back, right? I was crying out loud, and I was telling, why me? Why now? I have so much to do. Why does this have to happen to me? And my husband, by this time, my husband was by my side in seconds, and I couldn't even like pull myself together yet. Like I just kept crying. Okay. And then the reality hit me too. And maybe this is just another episode, right? And I was lying on the ground, and you have to understand, this is a nature walk, and I live in Florida, and we are in the middle of this wildlife trail. And let me tell you, I know better now than to stay down for too long, because one time I got attacked by fire ants on this very trails because I stood there for in one place too long. Maybe I was closer to the fire ants, so that kind of flashed through my head. So that's another story for another episode. But trust me, I knew that I could not be able to sit there crying, feeling sorry for myself. And I didn't want this to get to another level. So with my husband's help, I got up. At this point, I mean, everything is hurting. My ankle has the worst pain. I'm limping all the way back, still crying out loud, still feeling every ounce of disappointment. And yes, even now, and now it is we're into 4 or 5 days into this episode. My ankle has the worst hurt, right? But my knees are still not up to par. But something inside me shifted. I would say it took me about 45 minutes, right? And something inside me changed. And that's probably because after years of self-improvement, it takes time to get here, right? Sometimes, the hurt is not that bad, and it takes me like 5 minutes. But this one, it was, crying all the way home, feeling sorry for myself. And I'm getting on the couch, and I lifting my head up, wrapping the head, lapping the scraps on my elbows, and that are taping myself and all that, going through all that. I would say 45 minutes. I was, after reading all the books, attending the seminars, taking the training, and teaching this stuff, I have trained my mind to recover quickly. But this took about 45 minutes, and I had to make a choice. I could just wallow on in this and let frustration take over and spend the next few weeks and days or whatever. I had the choice to feel sorry for myself, or I could decide that this setback would make me the healthiest, strongest, the most productive, the resilient version of myself yet. So, my friends, that is exactly what I am choosing here, okay? I will heal with intention through this. I will use this downtime to be productive in new ways. I will still be alive, happy, and the most radiant, okay? And when I come out on the other side, I'll be better, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. And the reason why this episode is that's the takeaway. I want that for you too. Because we all get knocked down. We all face obstacles. Sometimes they are big. Sometimes they are small. And it doesn't matter how small, they shake us in one way or another, okay? And that make us question sometimes everything. But you will rise from it, my friends. And you're not going to be just okay. I want you to know that you can become better. You can become stronger. You can become the more unstoppable than before. So I don't know if you needed to hear this today, this week. If you are facing something similar, something right now, or similar or not, right? If you are facing something, please know that life is 50-50, right? We don't know the bad 50, okay, maybe happens so that you appreciate the good of the 50%. So whether it's an injury, a disappointment, a setback, know this. This is not the end of your story, my friends. It is just a piece of your mosaic. And remember when we put those pieces together, right? Those pieces back together, you create something even more beautiful. And this is what this podcast, all these episodes are about. Okay, so let me read through what I wrote about the affirmations. Okay, I want you to repeat after me. I am strong even when life knocks me down. Every setback is a setup for my greatest comeback. I choose to heal, grow, and thrive. My challenges do not define me. I define me. I will emerge from this stronger than ever. So, my friends, if this message resonated with you, I want you to please subscribe, share this episode, please leave a review. It does help me reach more people, like-minded people like you, and continue to grow this podcast without ads. And don't forget to visit arzugazi.com. And please join my mailing list. You'll get a free gift series, and you will be the first to know when a new episode drops in this podcast, okay? I hope this episode was relatable to you, and I hope it cheers you up. You are special, you are one of a kind, and until next time, let's make our mosaic pieces even stronger after the shatter, okay? And please, that's not what we do here. We put the pieces back together intentionally. We become stronger, we don't shatter. We after the shatter, we put the pieces back together intentionally and we make them a masterpiece. Okay, that's it. I love you. I'm out. Until next time.